here, the Gonzalo Principles, and today we shall be talking about a key serious issue about the reading section. Guess what? The reading section could come very easy if you understand the question types that you're to answer. Today, I shall be dedicating the class to the true, false, not given questions. A lot of candidates see this question type as one of the most difficult or rather technical question of all the question types in the reading section of the IELTS. Why should that true, false, not given question be so difficult? I'll be right back. Okay, welcome you back to the Gonzalo Principles. My name is Jermaine SOP Maxwell. Today we shall be talking about the reading section, concentrating more on the true, false, not given question. The moment you have the true, false, not given question, you expected to read the passage carefully to get out details. Remember, the passage will be written in simple paragraphs, and the paragraphs will be made up of sentences. Each individual sentences will define if the question statement will be true, false, or not given. The basic cues. Listen carefully. Once you have a statement from the question, the statement could either be asking you to either say the statement is true, it's false, or not given. Examiners will not be too easy on these kind of questions, so you don't expect to see similar wording. So a lot of paraphrasing will be taking place. So what you see in the passage might not likely be what you're going to get on the question, but there will be some kind of synonymous connection between the question statement and the paragraphs you've been given in the passage. So the cues will be, once there is a connection between the statement given to you in the question and what you have in the passage, you say the statement is true. The moment there is no connection, meaning that what you have in the question statement contradicts, I repeat, contradicts the idea you have in the passage, you say the statement is false. Once there is no connection and there is no contradiction, obviously the statement will be not given. I'll take this again. Once you can find a connection between what the question statement is giving to you and what you have in the passage, you say the statement is true. Once what you have in the statement contradicts, that means goes against what you have in the passage, you say it is false. Once there is no connection and no contradiction, the statement is not given. I'll take you to the class now and make you see how these can work practically on the test day. Let's get to the classroom.
Hey, welcome one more time to the Gonzalo Principles. Today we shall be looking at the true, false, not given. This is one of the most technical questions you will come across on the IELTS, and seems to be a little bit technical because you have statements that definitely will be paraphrased from passages, and you do not expect to come across similar concepts or ideas. So the examiners will be doing a whole lot on their replacement of words and synonym in context there. But there are basic strategies we can apply. So today we shall be looking at the topic here, sleep. Okay, which is one of the most important things you need to pay attention to, mostly when you are reading. Make sure you have an idea of what the title is, which is sleep here. And the next thing to pay attention to will be the instructions. So what does the instruction want us to do? We should look out for the statement. If the statement explains the idea in the passage, you say it is true. When the statement here contradicts, the keyword here, contradicts, so the statement is false. And when the statement can't be found in the passage, then we say not given. So we have these three basic concepts in mind, and we need to work towards them. Like I always advise my students, naturally you need strategies. IELTS will give you passages that have too much information. I call it TMI, too much information. So what you need to do is to sieve out what you need so you can concentrate on the question. Today I'll be introducing the strategy known as piecemeal. The strategy today I'll be teaching you is known as the piecemeal strategy. So what you're supposed to know is an average IELTS passage is written like an essay. I'll take that again. An average IELTS passage is written like an essay, which implies that there is an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Okay? So having that in mind, you have to break things down. Actually, act more like a Michael Jackson now. We'll break it down to the most smallest unit you can ever think there. An average IELTS passage is made up of paragraphs. Each of the paragraph is also written like an essay. Did I shock somebody there? I really don't bother. An average IELTS paragraph is written like an essay, which implies that you have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Okay, so let's look at the paragraph here, sleep. The first paragraph starts with a sentence here, though there is still a debatable concern, sleep is as important as life itself. So this is my first sentence here. Okay, and my last sentence starts off from here, this point here. This has really kept social scientists on their toes, making research findings near impossible to arrive at a logical explanation to these natural phenomena. So this ends here. So if I follow the pattern of having an IELTS paragraph written like an essay, I would say I'll pay attention to my first sentence and my last sentence. And the rule is, if the first sentence and the last sentence kind of say the same thing, I don't have to kill myself over the body sentence. The body sentence could be the sentences you have in the middle, which are out of either the first or the last. I'll take that again. When the first sentence, like we have here, make it lighten here. When the first sentence, like we have here, okay, says the same thing as the last sentence we have here, then I don't have to bother reading the body. So the body starts from this point here down to this point here. Okay, I don't have to start reading that. I just know I have the simple ideas I can watch out for, as the case might be. So pay attention carefully. Each time you take a passage, make sure that you understand the concept of identifying the introductory sentence and the concluding sentence, which I've highlighted here. The moment you've done that, you need to pay attention to how the question comes in. Like I said the other time, I'll be introducing what I call the piecemeal approach to answering questions. So what does this piecemeal simply mean? It means that you're taking the paragraph step by step and answering the questions at the same time, which implies that you're not reading from top to bottom yet. You're just taking the first paragraph. So what you do first is you read the first two sentences. Sentence one starts here and ends here. Okay, ends here, sorry. Then sentence two starts here and ends sentence two starts here and ends here. So I'll take the first two sentences. Once I'm done with the first two sentences, I quickly go back to my question and see if I can connect my question to the first two sentences. If I can't, then I have to read the third and the fourth. Once I'm done with the third and the fourth, I go straight to the question and see if there's a connection. Let's take a simple approach to that there, so we get it all cleared up here. So I'll just take all this off so we can have it all clear. So my first sentence naturally here will begin from this point here, though down to itself here. My second sentence starts off from mechanism here and ends up a day here. I'll quickly want to read through and see if I can connect my first two sentences to the first question here. So though still a debatable concern, sleep is as important as life itself. The mechanism of the body requires that an average person sleeps for about 8 hours a day. So I have these two sentences. One is talking about the importance of sleep, and the other talks about the required amount of sleep one needs a day. Moving on to my question here. Sleep is not important to human existence. Sleep is not important to human existence. So I have not important to human existence. And here we have sleep is as important as life itself. Meaning the first sentence here contradicts the first question here. And this evidently would bring me a false statement. Okay? So that implies that my first two sentences, I've gotten my answer to the first question. Moving on quickly, I will try to see if I can connect my second question to the first two sentences. So the second question says the amount of sleep gotten can impact on an individual's cognitive performance. Okay, in my first two sentences, nothing was actually mentioned about our cognitive performance. So I have to read my third and my fourth sentence subsequently here. So I'm starting off from this point here. According to experts, this is a way the body rejuvenates and gets the entire system ready for the next day. However, can one have more sleep than necessary? What side effects are there when one sleeps more than required? The third and the fourth sentence have nothing to do with cognitive performance, which we have here. Okay, which is our key concept here. So we still have to read downwards there. So I'm starting off with the fifth sentence here. So these has really kept social scientists on their toes, making research findings near impossible to arrive at a logical explanation to this natural phenomenon. Okay, definitely I can really get anything connecting to questions today. So I have to move straight downwards to my next paragraph. Okay, so one thing you notice is from the first paragraph downwards here, we've just been able to answer question 1. And one good thing about the IELTS passage on the true false not given, all questions concerning true false not given are related in a chronological format, meaning that you have your answers placed in sequence. The paragraph that gives you the answer to question 1 might not likely give you the answer to question 2. The one that gives you the answer to question 2 might not likely give you the answer to question 3. So the paragraph, as it flows, answers the question in numerological fashion that way. So since we've gone through paragraph 1 down here, and we've not been able to answer just question 1, meaning to get the answer to question 2, we have to read the second paragraph there. Okay, so moving on here, in my second paragraph, I have, why should mankind bother about sleep? A research study conducted in Maryland, United States in 2010 suggests that sleep plays a major role on how people function daily. Okay, the amount of sleep gotten can impact on, we just can't, okay, we've not really gotten there, we still have to read under. A group of active men were selected and given more than necessary amount of sleep, and the outcome indicated that they performed less than their counterparts, who were given the adequate amount of sleep within the same time frame. Okay, I guess the idea is just building up now, so you have to read on. However, the last group of selected males who were given less sleep time within the same period performed poorly and below expectations, and both mental and psychomotor activities. So I guess we have something close to our keyword here, cognitive performance. Okay, let's start off the sentence from this point here and see if we can get something out of it downwards here. Okay, so reading on from here, however, the last group of selected males who were given less sleep time within the same frame, same period, performed poorly and below expectations in both mental, that's a keyword there, and psychomotor activities. So this goes to show that adequate sleep is necessary. And here we have the amount of sleep gotten can impact on individual cognitive abilities. So obviously, this statement here should connect as true. All right. So with these ideas now, you find out that, when you read your first paragraph and your second paragraph, so you should, in a way, continue reading to your third paragraph there. Okay? So moving on with our third paragraph here, that means we have question 3, 4, and 5. So this implies that I can't get the answer to question 3 from paragraph 1 again. So I have to still read downwards. Okay? So moving on to my third paragraph, as the case might be, still dating in the main, but how, stating the main, but how then can one really know when to have taken in enough sleep? This is a question that still baffles even the professionals who most time present bogus explanations. So moving on to my third question here, healthy eating habits affect sleeping patterns. Okay, we've not really had any key concept talking about healthy eating habits, so we still have to read under. Probably as technological innovations advances in the future, a more comprehensive template might emanate to explain this social convolution. Okay, so I've read down to the end of this paragraph. I still did not get what I could say relates to what we just mentioned here. So I would say healthy eating habits affect sleeping patterns was not usually mentioned in the passage, so I would just say this wasn't given. Okay, not given. All right, then I'm looking at my fourth question here. An academic research conducted defines the category of sleep. Okay, the research was given here, but it didn't really give us any idea of categorization of sleep here. So this statement here was not also given to us, so we may term this as not given to. And finally, we have professionals give big reasons to unravel the mysteries behind sleep. Okay, professionals give big reasons to unravel. So the essence of saying they gave us big reasons to unravel was not really mentioned here. So you have to really look into the key stem of the question here. So we have big reasons to unravel the mystery behind sleep. So we're wondering, there was no such of a mystery mentioned in the passage. So the idea of professionals giving us reasons on why sleep should be unraveled mysteriously, that wasn't placed there. So we can still say we have another not given statement here. Okay. Now, one thing we've learned here is that every time you take the true, false, not given question, you must have at the back of your mind how you intend to answer the question. Most of the information you get in the question are probably not noted in the passage, and some of the information presented in the passage might be presented in the question, but in a way rewritten that you have to read between lines. So the piecemeal method I introduced to you can be used effectively if you practice enormously with it. So what you do first is, in the piecemeal approach, try reading the first two sentences, go straight to the question. If you can't connect anything there, go read the third and the fourth, then go back to the question. In a way, you have some kind of synonymous connection to concepts or context application. Once you've done that, then you move straight to the second paragraph. Remember, IELTS true false not given questions will come sequentially, chronologically, which implies that what answers question 1 might not necessarily answer question 2. I guess we've learned something from this, and if you do, I will encourage us to subscribe so to get more open doors to more educational videos, and don't forget to hit on the notification bell so you get notified when a new video pops up.
Alrighty, how did you have it there? It was wonderful. So the key idea will be here. Watch out for the key words there. The key words will be connecting, contradicting, strange, or not connecting. So if it is connecting, it's true. Once it is not connecting, that means it's contradicting. That's false. The moment it is not connecting to the passage, I mean the question, and neither is it contradicting what is in the passage, obviously it will be not given. There you have it. Keep practicing and keep pushing it. In my next video, I'll be talking about the marching heads questions. How do you answer the marching head questions? What steps or strategies do you desire or require to get our answers correctly? I'll be teaching you the most effective strategy you can apply to answer the marching heads question. If you've not subscribed yet, go below this video and do that now. Hit on the subscription button and don't forget to strike on the notification bell so you get notified when this video gets popped up on this channel. Keep practicing, keep pushing it. Like I always tell you, the greatest rule on the Gonzalo principles is to practice at least 1 hour every day. And I'll see you on top very soon. Bye-bye.